Okay, lesson 15. Go ahead, sis.
Hi. Lesson 15.
They've got us figured out now. Coreen's been wearing the same sweater for a week, so we're good.
Okay. My thoughts are images that I have made. It is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. You think them. And so you think you see them, right? We can only see them if we think them, right? That makes sense, doesn't it?
Seeing is believing. Sorry, go ahead.
Seeing is believing. This is how your seeing was made. This is the function you have given your body's eyes. It is not seeing. It is image making. It takes the place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions.
Wow, 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 wow.
Isn't it? Wow, 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 wow. So
Yes.
exciting.
Yes. So you can't see it unless you had first thought it. We're seeing our beliefs, and it's not even true seeing. It's an image in our mind that we project out there, and we call that seeing.
So what you're saying is that if I'm seeing something good or bad, as I classify it, it must be because I want to see it.
You put it there.
But I'm not conscious that I want to see it? Not yet?
Not yet. That comes later with great anguish. I'm sorry. Okay, go.
Don't shock me. No anguish, right?
No.
But we do. We're going to have to sort that out as we go along with the Holy Spirit, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. So this introductory idea to the process of image making that you call seeing will not have much meaning for you. You will begin to understand it when you've seen little edges of light around the same familiar objects which you see now. That is the beginning of real vision. You can be certain that real vision will come quickly when this has occurred.
Mine says very quickly.
Sorry, what did you say?
The COA version says you can be certain that real vision will come very quickly when this has occurred. I like that version better.
I much prefer that version.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So what are we actually seeing? You know, I mean, this is my experience so far, is that any moment that, say, I'm challenged by what the body's eyes are seeing and what the ego is interpreting as image making, if I'm challenged by that, when I remember in that moment, wait a minute, I am seeing an illusion, meaninglessness here. And in my, not just in my head, but in my heart, I feel I want to invite Holy Spirit to reveal to me what the truth is behind all of this. What happens is that what I'm seeing becomes less opaque, less solid. You too? Do you have that?
Oh, totally.
Experience?
And that I wish we had that diagram, but right, was your
diagram. I've got them all here. Which one?
Turning to Holy Spirit, everything becomes less dense and it's lighter, and there's more love, the experience of love as you move in that direction. But as you are facing and being led around by the ego thought system, you know, it's shades of gray into actual darkness and ultimately death. So yeah, it's the beginning of seeing meaning behind the meaningless. And if it's meaningful, it's from God. And if it's from God, it's spiritual, it's light, its whole function and purpose is love. And so all of those are the highest vibration, if you will. It's all light. We're seeing it distorted, and the distortion makes light material and dense. So it's like a continuum depending on where you're at, but you'll start seeing the light when you desire that, when you're letting go of the meaningless. I don't know what anything is for. I know what I'm seeing is a distortion. Holy Spirit, show me what's true. Show me what's meaningful here. Yep.
And I'm also noticing that I'm seeing you increasing in light as I look at you on the screen.
That's because the sun's setting.
Damn, I thought it was a real deal. I thought it was a real deal. I thought you were disappearing into the
I'm
light.
going to send at about 4 p.m. Stay tuned.
You know, when you lean back like that, actually, you lean back, you've got a beautiful shaft of light right there in your heart.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's it. If I can move.
Okay. I love the laughter. I just love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you have
Okay. Yeah. So let's go to paragraph 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As we go along, as we go along, you may have many light episodes. They may take many different forms, some of them quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last. They will not persist because they merely symbolize true perception, and they are not related to knowledge. He's speaking here about God's realm of knowledge, not intellectual knowledge that the ego is perpetually seeking through its, constricted lens.
Yeah.
These exercises will not reveal knowledge to you, God's knowledge, right? But they will prepare the way to it. In practicing the idea for today, repeat it first to yourself and then apply it to whatever you see around you, using its name and letting your eyes rest on it as you say, this, fill in the blank, is an image that I have made. And that, fill in the blank, is an image that I have made. It is not necessary to include a large number of specific subjects for the application of today's idea. It is necessary, however, to continue to look at each subject while you repeat the idea to yourself, right?
Yes.
The idea should be repeated quite slowly each time. So this is an image that I have made. That is an image that I have made. Wow. Although you could really apply this to anything that upset you, right, sis?
Everything. Absolutely. Well, and the good. The good and the bad.
The good and the bad, right? But if we're going to apply it to something, but it's important, because it's the trap that I fell into when I originally did this, was that doing this exercise saying that this physical pain is an image that I have made. The next step for me anyway was that, well, I felt guilty about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about feeling guilty for it. The minute you feel guilt or any self-condemnation, that is a sign that we need to give it to Holy Spirit. It's not ours to fix.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's that's really key. Once we figure out how this all works, so that everything that we're seeing is not out there, but it's actually a projection from our mind, then the ego goes, fine, well, then you're at fault for everything. And Jesus says, be very careful at that moment, because of course the ego, which is addicted and needs guilt to survive, is all too happy to jump in and try to sabotage the spiritual practice. What that means, when I take something that I'm seeing out there and bringing it to the level of thought where it really is, that's the only place that it can be forgiven and released to the Holy Spirit. While you have it out there, Holy Spirit has no access to it. That's how we protect our images. But when we bring it in and say, this is an image in thought, now you're empowered. Now you can say, here, Holy Spirit, take this thought. I don't want it anymore. And you can hand it over, and Holy Spirit's, thank you, and takes that and makes the correction in your perception. And that's the healing. So don't be duped into thinking that taking it in is to compound guilt and any self-judgment. Actually rise up and say, this is an empowering move, and it's the only way that healing can be accomplished, or that I can experience what God is doing in its place instead.
Thank you for that explanation. Very helpful.
Yeah, it's a big one. People, yeah, they go right down into guilt, saying, well, it's all my fault, you know. No.
No. Okay, last paragraph. Although you will obviously not be able to apply the idea to very many things during the minute or so of practice that is recommended, try to make the selection as random as possible. Less than a minute will do for the practice periods. If you begin to feel uneasy, do not have more than 3 application periods for today's idea unless you feel completely comfortable with it, and do not exceed 4. However, the idea can be applied as needed throughout the day. So my thoughts are images that I have made. Lesson 15.
Without exception.
Yeah, without exception.
I've given that all the meaning that it has for me, and I'm drawing on a past to give it all the definition that it has. So I'm not even seeing what's there. How about we give God a break and just give him a blank slate and say, God, I don't know, but I'm so curious about what is there.
I want your knowing.
I want to know with you. Right. Yeah, that's wonderful. Image I have made.
Thank you.
So encouraging. I love doing this. Thanks, sis.
Thank you. So do I. I enjoy it.
Yeah, this is great. All right. So that was lesson 15. Well done, everybody.
You're still with us.
I know. Don't give up.
Oh,
It's not for resistance. Yeah. All right. So if I haven't ascended, I'll be joining Nouk next time for the next lesson. I'll talk to you later.
And we'll change our clothes.
We'll change our clothes. Bye.